Yo, what's going on, people? Welcome back to another video. And if you thought that after a 3-week hiatus, the only video you'd see from me today would be an unboxing of a Nintendo Switch game, you thought right. Especially given my track record of consistency here on YouTube. Now, that being said, let's get back to serious journalistic topics. And by serious journalistic topics, I'm of course referring to the most serious franchise in all of gaming. The franchise that if you were to look at it on paper, you look at it and you're just thinking like, damn, everyone in this series looks at themselves so seriously. It's like we're watching a damn DC movie out in this shit. I am of course referring to one of my all-time favorites, Yakuza, or as it's known out east, Ryuga Gotoku. Because, ain't God great? Ain't God freaking great that we Yakuza fans have been eating good here, man. Like, just the past 2 years alone, if you've been a fan of this franchise, yo, you've been eating swell, man. It's been great, man. We've been truly blessed. And we have no one but ourselves to thank, because we have been out there preaching the gospel of this series of Kiryu, the Dragon of Dojima, of Majima. This is going to sound controversial and people are going to have to question my Yakuza card, but I don't fucks with Goro outside Yakuza 0 because I thought he was the best Yakuza 0. Fight me on that. I'm waiting. I'll see you in the comment section. Meet me on the playground, bro. Sega just woke up this morning. It was just like, you know what? I don't think these guys have gotten enough Yakuza news. I mean, it was already great that we were getting a compilation trilogy of 3, 4, and 5. It was great that we finally got a Western release date for that. It was great that they shadow dropped Yakuza 3. And it was even better that in this set you're going to get a PS3 case for Yakuza 5 so you can finally put it on your shelf. They just came out there and was like, you know what? Bitches love a new mainline Yakuza game. And that's what we got today, y'all. We got the announcement of Yakuza 7. Subtitle, I believe, is Yakuza Whereabouts of Light and Darkness. What I'm really concerned about is its North American localization title, because that is just fucking amazing. But we'll touch more on that later. So Sega announced a new game in the Yakuza franchise, the next mainline title, Yakuza 7, if you will. And it's going to be releasing January of next year. And that's it. That's all that's really worth talking about. Oh, wait, no. The most obvious thing right now is we got the Western localization confirmed for next year as well, which is freaking insane. How often do you see that happen? So it's good news all around for us Yakuza fans, man. We doing swell, man. We got new protagonist. We got a new setting. It's going to be a really ambitious title. I mean, what's not to love? What's not to... Okay. All right, fine. Yakuza 7... we'll be making some drastic changes. And by that, I mean the game is going to be using the engine, and they finally achieved 60 frames per second on it. I mean, after all these games, you know, it's great to see that the Dragon engine is really... Okay, fine. All right. You guys won. Yakuza 7 will no longer be an action beat-em-up title. Yakuza 7 is going to be a turn-based JRPG. Yeah. Yakuza is going to be a JRPG. I mean, it's already got a lot of JRPG elements in general, but it's going to be a turn-based game now. And this has caused the internet, at least the legion of thousands of Yakuza fans, to lose their collective shit. Now, what's so funny about this, and this is one of the first two things that is actually hilarious regarding the Yakuza 7 announcement, is that it was shown off during April Fools. Yeah, Sega actually uploaded a video of them working on a Yakuza game, and it was turn-based. But everybody thought it was an April Fool's joke, because who would actually do that, you know? These madmen actually did it. This is the next installment of the Yakuza game, y'all. And to be honest, if I'm being real, I am 100% here for it. I am so freaking excited for this game. Now, it might come as a surprise, especially considering the drastic shift that the series is going. Considering they tried this before with another game. It was titled Yakuza Dead Souls. And if anybody knows me, you will know that that is the only Yakuza game that's been localized here that I do not have in my collection. I just couldn't stomach myself to pick it up. It just, yuck. But this one right here, I am very interested in. Because as we can see here, it looks like they're actually putting effort into this because it is a mainline title. It doesn't seem as if they're doing a Valkyria Azure Revolution where they were just like, oh, the future of the series depends on this drastic shift that nobody asked for. It seems to me that these developers are, well, taking a chance, a risk on spicing things up. And for good reason. I don't know if anybody knows this about the Yakuza games, but if you kind of play one or two, you've kind of gotten the gist of all of them. Now, that being said, and giving credit where credit's due, and not to sound like a hypocrite, a lot of franchises are like that, but more so than any, you see it with the Yakuza games. Of course, if you play the franchise, you notice a lot of the changes in the series. You know, Yakuza 0 is very different than Yakuza 6, which is very different than Kiwami 2. That actually brings up another good point. The release schedule of all the Yakuza games in recent years, we've gotten a lot of them, you know? In just the last 2.5 years, stateside, we've gotten Yakuza 0, Yakuza Kiwami, Yakuza 6, Yakuza Kiwami 2, Judgment, which is not really a Yakuza game, but we're going to be getting the Yakuza games re-released. And now we're getting Yakuza 7. That's a lot of samey. And we're not even counting Japan and all the other Yakuza games that they've put out that they haven't released over here. I could see that after a while of doing the same thing over and over again, you might want to do something different. And I normally, under these situations and circumstances, I would be like, why don't you make it a spin-off? Why don't you do your own thing? Because I've leveled a lot of those concerns towards series that have done that, such as Valkyria Chronicles, Azure Revolution, that godforsaken game. But the difference here with this versus that is I have a lot more faith in Ryuga Gotoku Studios to come out with a Yakuza game that's turn-based and it actually is kind of cool. You know what I'm saying? You know, I just, with the way these guys have been flexing their muscles, as you see with Judgment, you know, sure, it's still a Yakuza style game, if you will, but it's got enough differences in it that makes it its own flair, and you can play this and you're like, damn, this is awesome, I want more of it, you know? So why can't the main Yakuza series do that? I feel as if we've had a lot of Yakuza games in the past couple years that we can afford to have them do something off the beaten path with this installment. But that's just me. I understand the concerns from a lot of people. They're like, no. If they wanted to do this, it should have been its own series. You know, if you want to create a JRPG set in the world of Kamurocho, you should just make a JRPG set in the world of Kamurocho you already have a different character, a different protagonist. So why isn't this a spin-off title? And you guys are right. I am not going to sit here and pretend to know why certain companies make the decisions that they do. All we know that is here, and we just have to accept it. That doesn't mean we have to agree with it. That doesn't mean we have to blindly support it. Don't get those two things misconstrued. But I just think that these developers have kind of earned a little bit of cautious optimism, if you will. You know, not a lot of development teams could honestly do that. Square Enix. You know what I'm saying? But with this, I'm just like, this could be cool. And I just like how the way it's set up, it deadass looks like a Persona game. It seriously does. So just imagine what they could do with this installment. You know, obviously, the game is going to have to be turned upside down because the way you do a beat 'em up in terms of encounters and stuff, I don't really think it's going to gel that well for a turn-based JRPG, especially in the sense of the Yakuza world. They're not open world titles, you know? They're not big games. They're sandboxes, small sandboxes, you know? So you can get into those fights, you can have fun, and the reason why you get into those fights is because you like to beat people up. With a JRPG, it's different. You don't want to get into fights just for the sake of. More often than not, when you're getting into fights, you want to level grind and do all this other stuff. You get what I'm saying? So fundamentally, the games are going to have to be very different. So if they just come out here and they just take the Yakuza games, they make it turn-based, I don't think this game is going to be a success, at least in that sense, because it'll be very boring and redundant. You know what I'm saying? So I think this is going to give them the opportunity to say, hey, you know what? Let's really go back to the drawing board and figure out how we can keep the same Yakuza flair, style, and substance, you know, that quirkiness while being serious at the same time, and just make it turn-based. You know what I'm saying? I would be surprised if they've been soliciting advice from Square Enix or Atlas. Like, we know the main character is a big fan of Dragon Quest, and you know they had to clear some rights and licenses from Square in order to mention that. So who knows? Maybe, man. I don't know. I see this and I'm not ready to write it off completely because of the potential that it could have. And like I mentioned before, it's not like this is coming from a no-name studio or just a random person who has the license and they think they can do it better. They think they can do better than what's come before, you know? So I know a lot of people expected me to just be so ranty and say, oh, I'm done with the series after this. Like, if y'all are really done with Yakuza after this, Kiryu's story ended in Yakuza 6, you know? We have so many games to play and go through. Amazing franchise, amazing set of characters and story. So why can't we just have this game that's just slightly different? Who knows? It might be great. And I'm pretty sure that if this game is a success, they're going to let it do its own thing. Likewise, they're going to let Judgment do its own thing. Like, they're very vocal and honest about, hey, we're listening to what people want. And if the fans reject this, then hey, they'll probably go back to what they've done before, you know? So we'll just have to wait and see. Anyways, from me to you for now, my name is NGS signing out. Like always, I will catch you guys later. Peace.